Welcome students. I hope you all are doing well. In this video, I will be explaining Chapter 9 Pronouns. So my dear students, what do you understand by the word pronouns? A word that is used instead of a noun is called a pronoun. So let's go further into the video and try to understand more on pronouns. What is pronoun? A word that is used instead of a noun is called a pronoun. Pronouns are used to avoid the repetition of nouns. Like nouns, they have different categories in which it gets distributed. First, number, second, gender, third, case. So in number, it consists of singular and plural, and in gender, it consists of masculine, feminine, common, and neuter. And in the case form, it includes nominative, objective, and possessive. Through this definition, we can easily understand that the pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun in the sentence. Pronouns are used to avoid repeating the same nouns over and over again into the sentence. Always remember, a pronoun must be of the same number and gender as its noun. It should not be used unless its noun has been used first. So my dear students, if you will not put noun in a sentence first, then the usage of pronoun will become null. Dear students, previously I have explained what the pronoun is. Now let's begin its kinds. So here in front of you, there are few kinds of pronouns has been presented. First, personal pronouns. Second, compound personal pronouns. Third, demonstrative pronouns. Fourth, indefinite pronouns. Fifth, interrogative pronouns. Sixth, distributive pronouns. 7. Reciprocal pronouns. 8. Relative pronouns. And the last, 9th, possessive pronouns. So, let's begin with personal pronouns. A personal pronoun is a pronoun that is associated primarily with a particular person. For example, I, we, you, he, she, it, and they. A personal pronoun is basically a short word we use as a simple substitute for the proper name of a person. Each of the English personal pronouns shows us the grammatical person, gender, number, and case of the noun it replaces. Personal pronouns like I, we, you, he, she, it, and they has three persons in it. The first person, second person, third person. So when we talk about the first person, it refers to the person or persons speaking are of the first person. Example, I, we, me, us. When we talk about the second person, it refers to the person or persons spoken to are of the second person. Example, you, yours. Third person, it refers to the persons or things spoken of are of the third person. For example, he, she, it, him, her, they, them. Dear students, now in front of you there is a table which shows a difference of first person, second person and third person into different categories. Like it shows in subject pronouns, object pronouns, possessive adjectives, possessive pronouns and reflexive pronouns. These all are the different forms of the personal pronouns. From the table, you can see I, we and us are the first person pronouns, with I as a singular and we and us as a plural forms. I is a first person pronoun used when the narrative of the phrase is referring to themselves, and we or us refers back to the group of two or more that includes the speaker. From the table, you can see some of the examples of second person pronouns like you, your, yours. It always refers to the reader, the intended audience. They include you, your, and yours. Unlike first person and second person pronoun, third person pronoun in the singular are marked for gender. For example, he and she, him and her, his and hers, himself and herself. Let's talk about other forms of the person pronoun. Here you can see some of the examples of personal pronoun. First, nominative case of personal pronouns. Second, objective case of personal pronouns. Third, possessive case of personal pronouns. So let's try to understand. First, nominative case of personal pronouns. Here, the nominative pronouns, example, I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they and who. These type of pronouns acts as a subject in a sentence. They are also called as subjective case of personal pronoun. For example, we are best friends. It is my pen. Objective case of personal pronouns are me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them, and whom. These sort of words are used when something is being done to or given to someone. For example, she gave him her book. Our teacher gave us some sweets. Now the last possessive case of personal pronoun are mine, yours, his, hers, ours, yours and theirs. The possessive pronouns shows that something or someone belongs to someone or something. For example, this book is mine. That pen was yours. This basically shows the possession or ownership of something. Students, whenever you are making a sentence using a personal pronoun, there are certain rules to be followed. Here, in front of you, there are certain rules which you need to apply while making a sentence. So, whenever after preposition, you have to use the objective case of pronouns. For example, I took it from him. Whenever a sentence has preposition in it, you always have to use the objective case of pronouns, like the preposition in the sentence is from, and the objective case of pronouns which you have put in the sentence, that is immediately after the preposition, that is him. After let, we use objective case of pronouns. Similarly, in the sentence, whenever the let is being used in a sentence, immediately after that you have to put the objective case of pronouns like us. Let us go for a movie. A pronoun directly after them is usually in the objective case unless there is a verb after it. A nominative form is used if a verb follows it. There are two examples wherein you can see the correct form of the sentence. The correct form of the sentence is he is taller than me. So this is the correct form of the sentence, not like he is taller than I am. So this one will be wrong. When all the three singular persons are used in a sentence, we follow the order. Second person, third person, first person. Example, you, he and I have finished our work. So here, you, he and I are the singular person. So all these three are the singular person and they are being used in one sentence. When all three plural persons are used in a sentence, we follow first person, second person, third person. Like we, you and they must work together. So here we, you and they are the plural persons and they are being used in a sentence together. These are few rules which are being applied while making a sentence just using the personal pronouns and how these personal pronouns are being utilized and will give you a proper sentence. Now, let's begin with the other pronoun. Now, the second pronoun is compound personal pronoun. A compound personal pronoun is a pronoun which is formed by adding a suffix at the end of the words, such as self for singular or cells for plural to certain personal pronouns. Compound personal pronouns are called as compounds because they are made from a personal pronoun by adding the suffix. When self is added to my, your, him, her, it, and selves to our, your, them, then we get the compound personal pronoun. Compound personal pronouns are of two types. First, reflexive pronouns. Second, emphatic pronouns. Reflexive pronouns reflect an action back onto the subject of a verb or of an infinitive or onto a possessive noun or pronoun in the same sentence. In English grammar, a reflexive pronoun indicates that the person who is realizing the action of the verb is also the recipient of the action. Let's see some of the examples. Matt got sight of himself in the mirror. So, here in the sentence, the person who is realizing the action of the verb, that is Matt, is also the recipient of the action, right? My plan was to get myself a better job. Here also the same applies like the sentence which we have discussed. Second one, emphatic pronouns. Emphatic pronouns emphasize a noun or pronoun in the same sentence. It can be seen that compound personal pronouns are used here to put emphasis upon the actions done by the subject and are therefore called emphatic pronouns. So let's see some of the examples. Like the students themselves created the sculpture. I will speak to them myself. So what is the actual difference between the reflexive and emphatic pronoun? Reflexive pronouns shows that the action of the subject reflects upon the doer. However, an emphatic pronouns simply emphasizes the action of the subject. Let's talk about the third pronoun, that is demonstrative pronouns. A demonstrative pronoun is a pronoun that is used to point to something specific within a sentence. These pronouns can indicate items in space or time, and they can be either singular or plural. Few examples are being mentioned like this, that, these, those, such. These words are used to point out the object or objects for which they are being used. This and these refer to the things which are near at hand, and those and that refers to things which is lying at a distance. They are therefore called demonstrative pronouns. How to use these demonstrative pronouns in the sentence? Here are some of the examples in front of your screen, like, this was my mother's ring. That looks like the car I used to drive. These are nice shoes, but they look uncomfortable. Those look like riper than the apples on my tree. Demonstrative pronouns has two forms, singular and plural. So for that, if we are talking about things which are near to us, we will use the word this. And if the things are far away from us, we will say that. Whenever we are using the words which is in the form of plural, when the things are which are near to us, we will use these, and the things which are far from us, we will use those. Dear students, you all must be wondering what is the difference between demonstrative adjective and demonstrative pronouns. So, in front of your screen, you can see two of the examples which tells you about the demonstrative adjective and the other examples which tells you about the demonstrative pronouns. Whenever we talk about the demonstrative adjective, it always describes the noun. For example, this chair is broken. So here the noun is chair and the demonstrative adjective is explaining and describing about the chair by using the word this. That car is expensive, these clothes are wet, those birds are flying south. But demonstrative pronouns always identify someone or something which are being used in a sentence. For example, this is my chair. So here the demonstrative pronoun is this and it is identifying something which is called chair. That is Peter's house. These are her clothes. Those are migrating birds. So the words which we use in both demonstrative adjective and demonstrative pronouns are this, that, these, and those. Fourth pronoun is indefinite pronouns. An indefinite pronoun does not refer to any specific person, thing, or any amount. It is vague and it is not definite. Some typical indefinite pronouns are like all, another, any, anybody, anyone, anything, each, everybody, everyone, everything, few, many, nobody, none, one, several, some, somebody, and someone. All these examples which defines the indefinite pronouns refers to the persons or things in a general way. They do not refer to any particular person or thing. So all these such pronouns are called as indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns take the place of a noun but not a particular noun. It always talks in a typical manner and it always talks in a general manner. Students, in front of your screen you can see some of the examples which are being used in a singular form, plural form, and in both the singular and plural form. These all words are called as indefinite pronouns. So let's talk about one word each in these different forms. Let's take one word, that is other, in singular form, and the word and the sentence which we are using, other, like do good to others. So this sentence and other is used in this sentence will be called as indefinite pronoun. Now come to plural form. In plural form, we'll take one example, that is few. The example is few managed to escape unhurt from the fire. In the last, we'll take both singular and plural form of word, that is all. The sentence will be like all is well. So all these words which are being mentioned in front of your screen are called as indefinite pronouns. Fifth pronoun is interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns are used to ask questions. It can be seen in your screen that the pronouns like who, what, which, whom, and whose are used for asking questions. So pronouns which are used for asking questions are called interrogative pronouns. Each word which are being used in an interrogative pronouns are used to ask a very specific question or something which is indirectly being asked. Such words like who and whom always refers to the people. Let's talk about the usage of these words in a sentence. Whenever we are using who, we use it for a people and it is used as a subject of the verb. For example, who loves pies? Who won yesterday? So here the word who is used as a subject and it talks about the verb. Now whom. Whom is also used for people but it is used as the object of a verb or a preposition. You saw whom. You went with whom. So in the first sentence you will see whom is used as an object and it is in correlated with verb. And in the second sentence, whom is used as an object and it is totally correlated with the preposition. Whose refers for the people used for possession. Who is this? Who's won the race? What is also used for people but it is used for animals and things. For example, what is that? What do you mean? Now the last which is used for people, animals and things, which is smarter, which is faster, which is heavier. All the words like who, whom, whose, what and which refers to interrogative pronoun only. Sixth, distributive pronoun. A distributive pronoun considers members of a group separately rather than collectively. They include either, neither, and others. Besides distributive pronouns, there are also distributive determiners, also called distributive adjectives. Each, every, either, and neither are called distributive pronouns because they refer to persons or things one at a time. For this reason, they are always singular and as such are followed by the verb in the singular. Dear students, in the previous slide, you must have understood what are distributive pronouns. The pronouns which refer to person or things one at a time. These sort of words are known as distributive pronoun. The examples are either, neither, and each. In front of your screen there are 4 examples through you'll get to know how to use all these distributive pronouns in a sentence. First, you can drink either tea or coffee. She can neither see TV nor play. Each of us bought the book. Give the chocolates to each. So the words either, neither, each and each are referred separately rather than collectively. Seventh, reciprocal pronoun. A reciprocal pronoun is a pronoun that indicates a reciprocal relationship. A reciprocal pronoun can be used for one of the participants of a reciprocal construction, that is, a clause in which two participants are in a mutual relationship. So, basically, a reciprocal pronoun is a pronoun which is used to indicate that two or more people are carrying out or have carried out an action of some type, with both receiving the benefits or consequences of that action simultaneously. Anytime something is done or given in return, reciprocal pronouns are used. For example, each other and one another. So, in front of your screen, you can see some examples with the usage of each other and one another. Let's try to understand reciprocal pronouns by using each other and one another in two different sentences. First sentence, my dog and cat love each other. So each other is your reciprocal pronoun. There they are having a mutual love that happens between dog and a cat. Now the second example is they all support one another. One another is your reciprocal pronoun and they are all supporting mutually. That is why the reciprocal pronoun has been used in a sentence. Through this example, we can see that it is used to indicate that two people or more people are carrying out some sort of action between each other, and they are also receiving the benefits or consequences simultaneously at that particular time only. These sort of words are known as reciprocal pronouns. Eighth, relative pronoun. The pronouns who, whose, whom, that and which join two sentences and refer back to the nouns going before them. They are called as relative pronouns. Who, which and that are relative pronouns. The noun coming before a relative pronoun is called its antecedent. A relative pronoun is used to connect a clause or phrase to a noun or a pronoun. The clause modifies or describes the noun. The most common relative pronouns were already mentioned in the definition. So sometimes when and where can be used as relative pronouns as well. The relative pronoun is the subject or an object of a relative clause. So, we do not repeat the subject or an object. So, my dear students, in front of your screen, you will see some of the examples of relative pronouns, the words which are used as a relative pronoun along with their example and its usage. So, let's try to understand how does it work. First relative pronoun is who. The usage of who is used for people. Now see the example. The woman who called yesterday wants to buy the house. So this is an example of relative pronoun. In this example, you will see the antecedent. What is antecedent? It is basically a noun which comes before the relative pronoun. So what is the relative pronoun in a sentence? Who. And before that there is a noun that is called the woman. So the woman will be your antecedent. Another relative pronoun is which. The usage of it is used for things and animals. Did you see the letter which came today? I love the puppy which is jumping in the kitchen. The third relative pronoun is whose. It is used for possession of people and animals. Whose, whom, used for people when the person is the object of the verb. That is used for the people, things and animals. So there are many examples which is mentioned on the screen which tells you about the relative pronouns in a sentence and its usage. In front of you there are certain important notes that you need to keep in mind while making and while understanding a relative pronouns. First, the noun used before a relative pronoun is called its antecedent. Second, when a relative pronoun stands for the direct object, it may be omitted as, for example, this is the movie which I saw yesterday. So which has been, it is a direct object but it has been omitted in the sentence. Third, what as a relative pronoun comes without an antecedent, it is equivalent to that which, as example, I say what, that which I mean. So these are the few important notes that you need to keep in mind about relative pronouns. Ninth and the last pronoun is possessive pronouns. Are pronouns which show possession of somebody or something by the subject are called as possessive pronouns. For example, mine, ours, yours, his, hers, theirs. A possessive form is a word or grammatical construction used to indicate a relationship of possession in a broad sense. This can include strict ownership or a number of other types of relation to a greater or lesser degree into it. So, possessive pronouns shows that something belongs to someone. Here are some of the examples of possessive pronouns, how to make these words into a sentence. Mine, yours, his, hers, ours, yours, and theirs are some of the examples of possessive pronouns. These words are used in a sentence. This is my laptop. It's mine. These glasses are mine, not yours. This is my brother's book. It's his. He offered to swap his camera for hers. I'll show you to your room. Ours is next door. The house is yours. The ship is theirs. So these sort of words tells you, these sort of sentences tells you the possession or ownership of certain things or object in a sentence. Possessive pronouns are always used alone, unlike possessive adjectives, which are always followed by a noun. So my dear students, the chapter pronoun has been explained to you. If you have any query, you please ask your subject teacher. Now, after this slide, you will see some of the assignment or questions that you need to do after understanding the whole chapter. Thank you and have a nice day.